Taking verses out of context in the Bible, it's a big problem. People will read their own interpretation. They'll look for a verse to say what they want it to say instead of reading it in the context of what it's actually saying. Today, we're going to talk about Philippians 4:13 and how people take that one out of context, so let's get started. This is the Significant Man Recharge Show. I'm your host, Warren Peterson, and welcome to the 5-Minute Friday. Now, wouldn't it be great to be able to do anything? Imagine if everything you wanted to do or accomplish or have in your life was possible. How amazing would that be? Well, today I'm going to talk about one of the most well-known cliches and also a verse that's taken out of context very commonly. It's Philippians 4, verse 13, in which Paul writes, "For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength." Now, this verse by itself, without context, it's inspiring. It's used when we're going through difficult times. It's used to assure people that they'll be okay and so on. After all, this verse says we can do all things. We can do everything. So how awesome is that? We can fall into this cliche, though. We can misread this verse with great intention. We'll say that there's some big mission for God that you want to pursue. You have the idea, and it's big. Since Christ will give you the strength to do everything, does this mean he will also give you the resources and the power needed to thrive in your idea? Maybe we need to reconsider how this verse is often used. Perhaps it doesn't mean that Jesus gives me the power and the resources and the strength to do what I want, but rather it could be that he gives me the strength to do what he wants. In other words, do we get strength from God? Yeah, absolutely we do. But is it to do everything that we want to do? Not at all. To get into this more, we need to figure out what this verse means in the context of the verses surrounding it. In Philippians 4, Paul's writing words of encouragement to the church. And about halfway through in verse 10, he's appreciating them for their gifts. These were people who had helped Paul financially. They had given him support as he was traveling and spreading the good news of Jesus. He's sharing here that he appreciated what they had given him, but that he had learned to be content no matter what his physical condition was. Paul had discovered the secret to contentment, and it wasn't, tied to him being hungry or having a full belly. It wasn't tied to him being in a nice house or in the bottom of a prison pit. He had found that the source of contentment wasn't to be found in himself or his situation at all. Rather, it was to be found in Christ. Paul had endured incredible hardship and difficulty, and he had experienced that Christ's strength was what allowed him to endure. Paul gained strength from Jesus in order for him to be content with whatever it was that God had provided. This means that when Paul wrote, "I can do everything through Christ, who gives me strength," it's not about Paul doing anything he wanted because Jesus would empower him. Instead, it meant that Paul could endure any hardship through the strengthening of the power of Christ. And this is one of the most powerful points in all of the Bible, in my opinion. I know that for me anyway, I need to remember this message often, because in my own experience with life, it's messy, it's unpredictable, it's confusing. There are times when I've been immeasurably burdened and felt really heavy disappointments. Of course, most of those times are due to my own actions, my own ideas, and they're a result of my own thinking, my own doing. I shouldn't be looking to God to just provide me with the motivation to do anything. In response to those times, I need God to show me the path forward, to provide me the way out of whatever pit I might find myself in. And that's exactly what he does. God is even better than we can imagine because he doesn't simply give us what we want. He gives us what he knows we need. The strength to be content and grow through our moments of weakness. And it keeps getting better. Not only is he giving you a way through those dark times, he's showing you a way to experience true freedom even when you are in a prison. And it might be of our own doing or a literal prison. So Philippians 4:13, it in no way obligates God to empower you or to empower me in our plans. It's much different and far better than that. Instead, Jesus will give you the strength in your times of difficulty and need. It's his presence, it's his power. That's what guides you through everything. And that is definitely good news. If you enjoy messages like this, head over to significantman.com and sign up for the free email series called Intel. Every week, I write a short message. Sometimes it's inspiration, sometimes it's devotion, something for you to think about and get you through the week. It's free, it's fast, so head over to significantman.com and sign up for Intel today. And please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review this show. Your ratings and your reviews, they help other people find the show, so thank you for that. All right, enjoy the next show.